O'clock show with Teresa Kashuba and Michelle Ferrari.
Good evening and welcome to Newswatch, the 5 o'clock show. I'm Teresa Kashuba. Coming up tonight, we bring you a program that's about 2 years in the making, and it started during one of our 5 o'clock show shoots in July of 2010 on a farm in Millbrook that's known for dirt bike, ATV, and freestyle motocross training. Now, it was an exciting day for everybody involved, including myself and cameraman Kevin, until, unfortunately, a crash on the site put a young Colburn man into an air ambulance and then eventually into a wheelchair. We've never shown that accident footage before on our program, but tonight we speak with the young man, Alex Abbott, now 24, during his part in what's called the P.A.R.T.Y program. It's a presentation called Prevent Alcohol and Risk-Related Trauma in Youth. In his role as an injury survivor, he is remarkably open and frank about his accident and the challenges that faced him and his family since then. Why don't you bring us up to speed on what's happening right now with the P.A.R.T.Y program, Vicki? What's happening with the
right
students
now,
right now?
The students this morning went through what life was like as a trauma victim, and they saw the first responders, and now they've survived their traumas, and they're seeing what life would be like with a disability.
As a result of some kind of
crash, collision, mishap, fall, anything that's a risk-taking behavior that could cause them to be injured.
You were in the emergency room for how long as a nurse?
I've been an emergency room nurse for 35 years.
And what was it that you were seeing that made you want to be part of bringing this message to the young people in this community?
I've seen lots of devastation to young lives over the years. I've worked in many hospitals across Canada, actually, and I've seen lots of devastation to young lives through risk-taking behaviors.
Are there stories that stick out with you?
Many stories.
Right away?
Many stories that stick out with me. I think the hardest certainly are the teens. Teens' death devastates an entire family and a community. And all the communities I've lived in have suffered from many teen deaths. In our community here in the Quinte area, we've had several teens die in my career here as an emergency nurse. It's never easy to tell a family what's happened, and you remember them all. Taking a family to the morgue, I remember every single one.
What is it here in these precious hours that makes the click? You get feedback from these students. What is it that turns the light bulb on about their behaviors?
I think what clicks with the students is that it's in hospital. I think the in-hospital thing makes a huge difference. The sights, the sounds, the smells of the hospital, it becomes very real. Everyone that's spoken to them today, from the police, the firemen, the paramedics, the emergency room staff, the rehabilitation staff, through everybody that's spoken to them, does this for real life. We don't sugarcoat it. We don't make it pretty, and we show them everything, and it becomes very real to them, very, very real. When they come in, they're always, this is a group of girls today, they're always very giggly. By the time they leave, and after especially they hear our injury survivors speak, they're much more sober. They're all very appreciative for the lessons they've learned today. We do hand out questionnaires at the end of the program, and they tell us their feelings about what they liked, what they didn't like. Most of it's just so positive. We've just had a really good response to it.
Now, this program has been available at Trenton Hospital since when?
We started in Trenton in, I think it was February, was our first program in Trenton. We started in Belleville in October of 2011, and we have gone to Bancroft, and next week we head to Picton, so we're covering all 4 Quinte healthcare sites. I have a waiting list this year, which has been great. We've had a waiting list. The school response and their enthusiasm for it is tremendous.
Okay. When do you hear the most silence from this group?
When we have the injury survivors speak. It certainly is the most impressionable part of our day. It has a very lasting effect when they see someone close to their age that has been through a devastating trauma and what their life is like. It's a very sort of eclectic group that I have, and it's really a win-win situation. It's really helping them too to talk about their story and feel that, I remember Alex, when I first talked to him, said to me, maybe this is what I was meant to do.
There you go. So, well, I know we have much more to see and learn through the P.A.R.T.Y program. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So as you saw, I landed in a foam pit. Usually those are supposed to kind of protect you from getting hurt. That one was kind of less, kind of constructed, not so great.
You're watching Newswatch, the 5 o'clock show.
Is that you?
Yeah, whenever it's that white bike or whatever.
We don't bite.
Yeah,
No. Whoa.
So this will be my crash as it happened. That was my cab ride. See, as you saw, I landed in a foam pit. Usually those are supposed to kind of protect you from getting hurt. That one was kind of less, kind of constructed not so great. The foam wasn't very deep, and I ended up rebounding into my bike as I hit it, and it ended up snapping my C6. It actually broken into a few pieces. I also fractured my C1 vertebrae, but it was just a hairline fracture, so all was good in that sense. Immediately, as it happened, you know, I was paralyzed, but pretty much completely. I had movement of my forearms, a little bit of movement in my neck. Other than that, just complete emptiness, you know. It was really weird, very surreal. I mean, obviously I knew right away something bad had happened. You know, it was pretty loud. I let out a weird little scream. And then, of course, you know, you're lying there feeling nothing. Yeah, I had to go through the MRIs, the CT scans, all that. You know, there's a ton of tubes, everything plugged into me. And I'm still just baffled at the whole thing, you know, finally going into shock. All that, just everything's happening at once. It's unbelievable. The drugs just take a really big toll on you. You know, I had catheters in, 6-hour surgery, and a long time to be under anesthetic. I got a big list of what might happen before I went under. You know, there was just a list of ways you might not make it out of the surgery, ways you might wake up in worse condition, you know, and to look at that before you're going under, especially for the first time, it's terrifying, you know. You could die, we could sever your spinal cord, we could cut your air box, we could cut, you know, your arteries that are in here, because they go in through the front and the back. You know, there's a lot of stuff in there to mess around with. I did have a lot of visitors, family and friends were coming at that point in time. Not that I could really remember or notice. I was hallucinating a lot while they were there. I looked like crap, obviously. You know, it was just terrible. I couldn't even press my button for morphine or assistance or anything because my hands didn't work, so my mom would stay with me every night. Also, at night times, I'd wake up just about dying, choking on my own vomit, which wasn't fun. Too much information, too bad. The one day, you know, everything caught up with me kind of in my head. I just wanted to move, you know, get comfortable, and my legs didn't move, and that's kind of just what set it off, something that simple, you know. I'd been ignorant for so long to this whole accident, but I got very depressed. I just wanted to end it all. I flipped over and stuck my face in the pillow. And then, of course, I wanted to breathe again, and I couldn't turn over because I was paralyzed, and I was just, you know, I was a mess. I was mad. I couldn't do anything I wanted. They had to probably sedate me, I'm thinking. I asked for pudding. That was what was going to make me feel better. But I'm pretty sure they sedated me, too. Because, yeah, after that, it was kind of like, good night, and woke up feeling better later, I guess. Like I said, a lot of these things are very vague memories. Might have been the drugs, you know, protection mechanisms I don't want to remember, stuff like that. Benefit from it, but and it won't be nearly as bad as it can be or anything. But basically, if I start to move a leg, it just takes off, and then the other one takes off, and they'll completely cross up, oh, like that, and basically, the only way I can even move them is if I bend over them, because they are so strong. It takes like 2 physiotherapists just to get them apart, you know, and that's constant. It doesn't stop. That's all day. So I'm working out like 24/7. It's not bad. I mean, it gives me some meat on my legs so I can sit longer, which is nice. But like I said, if I was in public and they did that, it's something everyone's going to look at, and it doesn't make me feel very great. Actually, I did see my family. They came in, I don't even know how many hours later they finally found me, but that's when I finally lost it, you know. It really hits you there when you see in other people's eyes that they see how hurt you are.
Is it 2 years?
Almost 2, yeah.
Oh
July
my
30th.
gosh.
Yeah.
The day that changed so many people's lives, including our cameraman Kevin Wheeler, who was shooting that day, Teresa Kashuba. When I watched what you present to the kids here at the party program, I didn't realize you were as amazing as you were on the dirt bike. Did you have any fear going into that moment? I mean, I don't know the names of tricks on dirt bikes. I'm not very savvy that way, but some of the stuff, like you were pulling yourself completely off bikes, moving your legs, and like it just didn't seem nothing.
Yeah, you know, the flip is, they say it's the easiest and the hardest mentally to do. I mean, literally you just have to pull, but to get it in your head, to keep on it, to not look sideways, to keep looking back is the hardest thing, to commit to it. And I was always worried about that, but I think at that point I'd probably gotten enough confidence in myself that I hadn't really been too worried about it.
Had you done it before?
I'd tried a lot before, but I'd never actually gotten all the way around. But yeah, no, I'd tried about 9 the weekend before, maybe 6 or 9.
You were airlifted to Sunnybrook Hospital. What was your original diagnosis, prognosis from doctors? What did they tell you?
Exactly that, I guess. That I actually didn't know about my C1 being broken until I'd gotten my x-rays on DVD. I did know my C6 was pretty badly broken. The surgeon came out with a piece of paper that had a drawing on it of the bones, and he made a pretty good illustration of the broken one.
Did you ask, hey, can I walk again? What's going on?
You know, at that point in time, I was just telling myself I would, I will be fine, I will be fine. I didn't ask a lot of questions. There's a lot going on, it's really hard to even think of something to ask, because it's just they're constantly doing things with you, and it's this, it's that. And then, you have all the moods that come along with that.
I couldn't believe 2 things about you: how positive you are, what an attitude you have about your injury, and how open you are about everything. And talking to these kids, like you said, you lost your dignity moments into this injury. Why have you chosen to approach it the way you have?
Well, I mean, you can go at it 2 ways. I mean, you can pretend it never happened and, keep everyone shut out to it, or, you can try and help people understand the kind of things that'll happen. I mean, I definitely didn't ever think of those when I thought about spinal cord injuries. I mean, a lot of people, you just think about, your legs don't work or this doesn't work. And I mean, half my friends don't even know half these details, but it's almost easier when you know it's doing good, helping these kids who are about to get their licenses and know the risks.
What's the most surprising question or uncomfortable question or response you've had from some of these high school students?
Oh, most uncomfortable question. I don't know. I think I make them feel uncomfortable more than anything, because they probably wouldn't have even thought to ask half the questions I kind of answer for them.
You have always, and I guess when people look at the video of you, you were living the life of the rock star. You got the tattoos, you got the long hair, you're the dirt bike rider.
It's getting there.
You're so well-rounded, you're so intellectual, you're so kind and considerate. I mean, the stereotypes that surrounded you before this and after, are they the same?
That is something that I kind of loved about my old lifestyle, was the stereotypes. I mean, I always had a mohawk and tattoos, and I was working at a vet clinic or, a server at Pizza Hut or something like that. And people, I just loved kind of proving them wrong, Maybe they came in with a certain, thinking I was a certain way, and then they talked to me for 5-10 minutes, and they're like, wow, this person they know what they're talking about. They're not that punk at this.
Beep!
Yeah.
Too late.
They're not who I thought he was, and now, I mean, it's almost like I'm trying to save my old identity with my dirt biking and all that, the long hair, and keeping that going while I'm in this wheelchair. Even though my life's changed, I like to stay the same.
We thank you so much for talking to us, and I only see very, very bright stars in your future. You're going to make a great impact on so many people out there that need to hear a voice from you.
Well, I'm hoping to. I mean, it's pretty boring these days, so getting out and doing fun stuff like this is good excitement for me.
Thanks a lot, Alex.
Thank you.
Wish you the best of luck.
Thanks. it had happened. And like I said, that's my first time being injured. You know, I'd done a lot of shows before that. I'd ridden a million times before that, so many ramps. And I'd never had an injury, not once, because anytime I got nervous or felt like it wasn't going to be the best idea, I didn't do it. You know, even if it was a show and I wasn't going to get paid, I'd driven all that way. If it was raining or windy and I thought, you know, I might get hurt, you know, I just said, don't worry about it, you know, I'm not going to do it. That one time, and sure enough, that was the jump that something happened. I mean, I'd worked my life towards riding my dirt bike like that, you know. As a kid, I'd watched videos and just dreamed of doing it in front of people. Not for the money, just I wanted people to enjoy what I was doing as much as I did. I know I'd finally gotten there. I had to fight so hard. I'd drive two hours away just to practice. I never screwed around and did stupid stuff because I wanted to make sure I had that possibility as a career. Just because that voice, you gotta listen to it, you know. It might not be, you might not agree with it at the time. You might feel like by not listening to it, you know, you might be making a fool of yourself or people think something of you, but forget it, you know. It's more important that you're good.